Mochi ice cream fried dough, bread pudding sesame balls. No matter what you choose to eat to satisfy your sweet tooth in Asia, it can come in this flavor, red bean. Today, I'll show you how to create this delicious signature Asian flavor that you can add to all kinds of desserts. Let's make red bean paste 2 different ways. Hi everyone, I'm Ariel and welcome to my channel. Here I share Chinese recipes, cooking and styling tips, and all things related to the Chinese food culture. Today we're going to make red bean paste. Okay, for any of you who might be wondering what red bean paste is, it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a paste made of red beans, and it's usually sweetened. It is one of, if not the most commonly seen flavor for East Asian desserts. It can be used as a filling for buns, breads, or fried dough, or as a topping for ice cream, pancakes, or puddings. Each country does it differently, which results in differences in texture and flavor. Depending on how you want to use it, you can control its flavor and texture by making it in different ways. Today, I'm going to show you 2 Chinese ways of making red bean paste. One method makes a grainy and rich textured red bean paste, and the other one makes a paste that is smooth and shapeable. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about the ingredients. Making red bean paste is very easy. You only need a handful of ingredients that you either already have in your kitchen or it's very easy to get online. All the things I used will be listed in the description box below. For the first recipe, it's super simple. You need, of course, red beans, which you can get either online or from an Asian store. You also need some sugar, salt, and water. And that's it. That's all you need to make a really basic red bean paste. Get a medium-sized pot, add your water and red beans in, and bring to a boil. Most people don't like to use this pot of water because it might taste a little bitter. So at this point, you can pour the water out, add in some new fresh water, bring it to a boil again, and then use that to make your red bean paste. After the water's been brought to a boil, turn the heat down to low, cover and let it simmer for at least 40 minutes to an hour. Our goal is to let the red beans become super soft and mushy. Check the water level every now and then. If you feel it's getting too thick, add a little more water. Stir occasionally to make sure the red beans are not stuck to the bottom and getting burned. After an hour and 10 minutes, my red beans are ready for the next step. You want to look for a consistency like this when the red beans have started to fall apart and are super soft. If you have extra liquid in your pot, you can pour it out. Mine doesn't have any liquid left, so I'm adding sugar and salt right into the pot. Right after you've done this, you will notice that the bean paste becomes liquidy again. That's because sugar has melted. From here begins the last step and also the most labor-intensive step of making red bean paste. You will have to keep stirring to prevent sugar from getting burnt while waiting for the mixture to be reduced to the desired consistency. Do not stop because the paste will get burnt and you will ruin the whole thing. After about 15 minutes, mine has already reached the consistency I'm looking for. This is when you turn off the heat and stop. Red bean paste will harden a little bit after it's cooled, so just stop right before you think it's the right consistency, and after it's cooled down, it will be just right. Scoop it out while it's hot, and if you don't use it right away, cover with plastic wrap or in an airtight container and store it in your fridge. Before you store it away, don't forget to try some for yourself first. Homemade red bean paste is super delicious, especially when it's just fresh out of the pot. Let's continue talking about the second way of making red bean paste. For this recipe, you will need everything we just used in the first recipe, which are red beans, sugar, salt, and water. You will also need 2 other extra ingredients, which are vegetable oil and glutinous rice flour. If you can't get the glutinous rice flour, just use cornstarch. First, we do the same thing. Add your red beans and water into a medium-sized pot. Bring that to a boil, and then reduce the heat and let it simmer for an hour. Check every now and then until the beans have broken apart. Another way to check if the beans are ready is to scoop some out and then press them slightly. If the beans are easily broken apart, or you can even smear it onto your plate, then it's ready. Drain the excess water and put it into your blender to blend well. Because right now it has very little water left, the result will be a very sticky and thick paste. Scrape out the paste into a non-stick skillet and then put sugar, oil, and salt in. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of water into the glutinous rice flour, mix well, and also put that in. Turn the heat on to low and then use a spatula to keep stirring everything to let it combine. At this point, the paste will become thinner again because sugar has melted. Just like the first recipe, you need to keep stirring. After several minutes, the mixture will become thick again. At this point, you can now fold the mixture onto itself with your spatula and keep it moving. When you notice that the folds and creases begin to keep their shape, your paste is done. Scoop it out into a container and you can use it as a filling in many Chinese pastry. The two methods result in very different textures and slightly different flavors. The first one keeps partial beans in its texture, so it gives a more interesting mouthfeel. And because it's spreadable, you can smear it onto your bread, top your ice cream with it, or mix it into your pancake batter. The second recipe gives you a very smooth texture and is also shapeable. Because of this, it is often used as a filling for a lot of Chinese pastry when it's required to shape the filling into a ball before wrapping the dough over it. Both versions are not that hard to make and are super delicious. Use a few ingredients and some elbow grease, then you will be able to have a delicious and versatile bowl of goodness that you can use on any dessert. If you also like red bean paste flavored desserts, be sure to leave comments down below to let me know. Like the video if you do, and subscribe to my channel for the next video in which I teach you how to use this paste in rice dumplings. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.